Alright, we're gonna do us a little reveal. Got the 7810 here and our new ripper. Only a couple people knew I had this. Just got it. Yes, I picked it up yesterday. I've had it for since the first part of June. We have some ground that has to be worked on, that new pivot, and then since we're grazing everything so hard, I've got that other ripper, but it pulls up giant clods and it doesn't do as good a job. It's 5 shank and it's got these points on it with these big coulters to run in front of it, and those make a huge difference. I messed around with it a little bit, and instead of pulling up, clods the size of tires, it just leaves a tiny little ridge of dirt. It's amazing how little what this thing pulls up. I'm really, that's what I wanted, and I've kind of been looking at these things for a couple of years, and now with my main intention was this is if I was going to do any no-till, I still wanted to be able to fix any compaction issues that I had without completely just tearing the heck out of everything. And those are no-till points or shanks. So there is an option for rollers on each side of that thing to push. They're called debermers, and so they just push the berm back down. And I'm gonna look at either those or maybe like a rolling basket, either for each shank or just a cheap, if I can get a cheap one to go make a hitch and pull behind it. But it just in the little bit we were doing, we found some spots that I have to put all the weights back on the front of my tractor. It would stop this thing dead and actually go up and start picking it up. So it does have, it takes a lot of horsepower for this thing. On really hard soils, they say 44 horsepower per shank, so it should be way more than what this tractor is. But that's, I think, if you do it right, we should be able to run it just fine. And yeah, so far I'm like extremely happy for it. I was running it up here already. Your coulters are adjustable. You can take them up and down. I mean, you can take them really far up to where you're running, I mean, way deep. It's got gauge wheels on each side, which are actually pretty decent. Tire's a little small, but you really kind of want a small tire, because if you don't have a small one, you run out of room. I mean, you got a coulter behind it, you've got a tire in front of it. I mean, you could move it to the center, I guess, but it's got a nice actual firm piece of square tubing for it, so it's not just getting bent. And it's got a steel pin. This jack that's here is just to help raise and lower it quickly, which works great actually. Yeah, I mean, this is really all I can tell you about it right now until we, put a couple 100 acres on it, which we'll be probably putting 150, 130 acres on it this year minimum. I may do a little bit more if I can get my helper to run the tractor for me. We may do quite a bit more of it, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. And it's actually, I know people are going to be like, oh, well, you're just buying all this equipment. I priced having somebody come do it for me, and my payments on this are actually cheaper than it would for someone come to do that one circle. So this thing actually cost me less than what it would be to have somebody come do it. And I have something I can sell. You know, if something happens, I can sell it. And that's just where that's at. It's a tangible item, and I know you're gonna say, people are gonna say fuel and time, and that's true, but it's also a tangible thing I can sell, or I can just continue to use it. And I think for the next 5 years, I'll use it in some spots every single year, especially closer to our watering points, because every place that I cut hay, all I see is you know, 10, 20 acres of pretty much just completely packed down dead ground. And this is something, if I am gonna no-till crops in, I want something I can address those areas without having to drag a disc out every single time and pull huge clods. This year, I'm not really gonna worry about the rolling baskets unless I just have extra money laying around, which doesn't ever happen. But because I'm gonna have to disc that other circle down anyway. But next year, I will either be getting those deburmers or getting individual baskets for each one of these shanks, or I will put a hitch in here and just put a rolling basket behind it. And that's what I'll be doing with that. So just kind of giving you a little sneak peek before we start really running it in the field, and that way you can see my thoughts on it now and after I use it a lot, which I don't think they're going to change. The other thing is I'm going to make and I'm going to go through my Massey swather and make a review on it, a full review, the header, the options, everything, because I feel like there was a review put out today, and you know, Wes Pandy did it. I like the guy's videos and everything, but that I watched the first 2 minutes, and that thing was so one-sided it wasn't even funny. If there were ever color blinders put on somebody, that was definitely happened. Just from the comments about the number of conditioners, the Twin Max header is an option. I don't have it. Not a lot of people do have it. And it's really for guys who are running like a lot of alfalfa. And the reason why is that you get a 7 to, like some places you'll get 7% faster dry down. Most places are getting 30% faster dry down. And which on alfalfa, that's phenomenal. I mean, you can really book it. Or even hay grazer. I probably won't ever buy one of them, but I definitely wouldn't shy away from it. So I'm going to go through and show the machine and show a few of the issues I have with the machine. That way there's at least one actual review on YouTube, because I've done a few of them where I'm like in the cab, but I'm just going to walk around it, go through every little nook and cranny, so there's an actual review from somebody who's actually been using the piece of equipment, because I cut over 3,000 acres of hay a year, and that's minimal. So, you know, I think that was definitely a one-sided review. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched enough of it to know that it wasn't going to be what it probably should have been. And I've owned a Deere machine and another Massey machine, and then I've owned the one I currently own. And I may eventually trade mine off for a new one, because the 9970s come out this year. But, you know, I at least want to do them some justice, because I think they are machines, but there are a few things on them that I would personally change. But it's very, very few things. So that's going to be coming up here pretty quick. I haven't filmed it yet, and I just put my machine in the shop, so I'll have to pull it back out, and it's as dirty as ever. You know, it's got its work clothes on, and I think that's what people need to see. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys this because I know it'll drive Ted Keller absolutely, or Ted Kaler absolutely up the wall that I'm breaking ground up. But maybe I can convince him to get one of these things. So thanks for watching.